Um, this is checking in with you all to make sure you're all staying sane. When a few more people show up, I'll just talk about what's going on and our next steps and everything. I've done my best to find a sheltered area. The breeze is pretty kind of stiff today. So, whoever's here, how are you? What's happening? I'm going to show you while we're kind of waiting for people to show up. I'm going to take a little walk and just show you where I am. Okay? Like that idea? I'm going to show you where I am and then we're going to talk. I think most of you know that I live in an area where actually literally battles of the Revolutionary War were fought. And I'm in front of the Judith Sargent Murray house. And Judith Sargent Murray lived in this house and lived during the Revolutionary War. I didn't get an opportunity to do a tour over the summer. I should have done that, but I had spoken with the people about possibly doing a live stream from inside the house, but right now I'm outside of the house. And I just thought that it was fitting for me to be on these grounds where Judith Sargent Murray lived during the Revolutionary War times, and she was a supporter of the women's movement and women during the Revolutionary War times. So let me just do that and we'll see how many more show up, but I'll give you a little bit of a tour. This is a stone's throw from where I live, and in fact I don't have a parking spot where I live because I'm in the business district, so I always cut through the yard of her house to go get to where my car is, like every day. So even though I grew up here and I've seen this house many times, I've not been reminded so often that it's here since I cut through here all the time. Now bear with me because it's very windy. I'll go back to the sheltered area in a sec. There is a little plaque. Okay, so here it is. And let me see if I can put this here so you can see it. This is Judith Sargent Murray, one of America's earliest advocates of women's rights, lived here during the American Revolution. Now a museum, the building and the historic collection present a glimpse into her life. Works of art by John Singer Sargent, Fitzhenry Lane, and other artists are also on display here in this house. So if you ever come and visit Gloucester, you might want to check out the Judith Sargent Murray house. And I'll keep working on maybe doing a live stream from here. As you can see, it's a gorgeous day once again. There's a better view. It's a house on a hill. So let's talk about what's going on. Let's be optimistic. It ain't over yet. Nothing's over yet. And anything that you hear, any kind of like messages of resignation, of that we just have to put up with it, anything that you hear like that, I want you all to think about the American Revolution and I want you to turn it off. Okay? Can I get you to all agree on that? Anything you read, any YouTube channel you see, God forbid you're watching the news, the mainstream news, any article, just the minute you hear, oh, we just have to put up with this fascist takeover of America, you turn it the hell off. Promise me that you will. Can I get promises? Because here's the deal. That's what fascism needs. It needs for us to acquiesce, and it needs for us to give up. We're not giving up. We're not going back. When we fight, we win. The key is, you're promising to turn it off, that's good. When we fight, we win. And the key is would you lay down your arms if you haven't won the battle? When we fight, we win. We are not going back. Judith Sargent Murray is a literal product of the American Revolution, standing up for the rights of Americans to not live under the rulership of a king across the ocean who was trying to control everything that Americans were doing in the free world. We do not give up our power, people. Hello. I'm taken aback. It takes my breath away when I read that, when I hear that kind of talk. It takes my literal breath away. And I woke up this morning and I felt a couple of calls to action, and one was to get my thoughts down in words. So the easiest way for me to do that was to write a Substack. So please go to Substack. Right now that's under Annette Dion, under my name. And it's entitled, Do Not Go Back to Sleep. I'm glad you're promising to turn it off. We cannot fill our minds with any thought whatsoever that the fascists have won. We're literally founded. Thank you for subscribing to my Substack. It's free. Just go there and subscribe. It's the antithesis of democracy to say, oh, we just have to put up with it. It's like the same thing as saying, yeah, King George, I guess, yeah. I mean, how do we fight King George? He's got this huge British army that's just, it's daunting. It's statistically impossible. It's logistically impossible. It can't happen. How can we defeat King George? These little ragamuffin, ragtag soldiers during the Revolutionary War. I think not. I am absolutely mortified and appalled that there are American citizens right now looking at that Donald Trump is promising we are fighting for him to not get in at all. He's promising a bloody roundup of immigrants. These are your friends, these are your neighbors, and for that matter, we're all products of immigrants unless we're Native American. Every single one of us. My grandma came over from Sicily on my mom's side. My grandparents on my dad's side came from Ireland, and my ancestors came from France. And we are on November 19th, we're entering into the energy that kind of kicked off the French Revolution and the American Revolution. We're not moving into a time, it doesn't match up the energy to resign, okay? It just doesn't. In a few minutes, I noticed my friend that I met here last night, his name is Adam, who does origami. I was talking to him about his art, and he just showed up. So we'll go chat with him for a little while after we talk for a minute. So I'm interested in your thoughts. Yeah, and actually what you're saying right now, there are votes that haven't been counted. I just got off the phone with Kathy Beale. We have our take on what's going to happen. We'll do another show soon. Let me know if it's too windy. I hope it isn't. I'll move back if it's too windy because I want you to be able to hear me. Please pass this message on. Please pass this message on. We're not, it reminds me of when I used to run a lot of road races. Seriously. And I'd get up in the morning and I'd be like, oh man, I signed up for this road race. I paid the fee. I gotta have my bib. I'm ready to run. And I didn't feel like it. And I would say to myself every single time, it doesn't matter if you don't feel like running this race, Annette. If you don't run it, then what are you made of? And that goes for any challenge. What are we made of? We are sons and daughters of the American Revolution. As much as the right-wing extremists tried to steal that title, that word, that name, they tried to steal the word freedom from us. They tried to steal the meaning of our American flag. They tried to steal our patriotism. They tried to steal our, the honor of our military. They tried to steal it. They tried to desecrate it. They tried to take America away from us. What we're experiencing right now is we're in a battle. Like Joe Biden said early on, it's a battle for the soul of America. That's where we are. And on these grounds where Judith Sargent Murray lived and walked around, and I'm sure she was in the house all the time, because what did women do in the late 1700s? They were here. So I'm in that energy. And somebody's mentioning they're going to move to Canada. That's resignation. And we don't do that here. We don't succumb to that here. We just don't. I'm not criticizing you. I'm saying this is not the space for, oh well, Trump is going to take over and he's going to orchestrate. He's going to get our military to round up immigrants and put them in camps, and he's going to take away all our workers, and our economy will completely crash immediately. And we're not doing that here. The battle for the soul of America is these next few weeks. So speaking to Kathy Beale about the astrology of what's happening right now, next week is jam-packed with pivotal events for Trump and JD. We are not going back. So I'm going to ask you, this is kind of reminding me of, I did tune in and I mentioned to Marianne at Revealing Light Tarot recently. It was I haven't been sleeping, but I did sleep a bit last night. I haven't been sleeping very much, but I was up. I couldn't sleep. I was listening to Marianne of Revealing Light, and she said that her channel is now going to be a resistance movement kind of a channel. And I'm going to take on that title, that name for this channel, that feel for this channel. We are the resistance. Sitting on the grounds of a woman who was married to a man during the American Revolution. So, I'll move back because it is getting breezy. I haven't left, I'm just moving back. And we'll talk to my friend here in a minute. He does origami. And in fact, thank you, Marby. In fact, that's the thumbnail that was an origami. He does origami butterflies. I'm gonna get him to teach me how. Okay. The fact of the matter is the votes haven't all been counted. The fact of the matter is Russia meddled in our election. The fact of the matter is Kamala Harris had hundreds of thousands and billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of people attending her rallies. We've never seen anything like it. And this is what I wrote about in my Substack. Go subscribe today. You're going to really make us believe that she didn't have enough votes? And Fox called it early because Fox is in bed with Trump as like hello, like we don't know that. And he got so angry, and probably Putin too, that they called the election for Biden. Remember Brian, what's his name? Who was it that called for Arizona won in 2020? It'll come to me. I don't keep in my memory banks, the names of the Fox anchors. They kind of Brett Baer, thank you. So they were trying to redeem themselves of that. They were trying to make themselves the first ones to call it for Trump. He did not win. Rose is saying I have a better chance of winning the lottery than to get the popular vote. Than for Trump to get the popular vote. This isn't over yet. However, like I mentioned yesterday, and then I started to read about it when I was psychic on the rocks on the seashore. I'm sure it'll be very windy out there today. During this little interim time that we're in, during the, Trump did not win this. It's glaringly obvious. But during this time, I'm going to tell you the little miracles that I'm getting messages about. They were calling for a bloodbath on election night if Kamala won on election night. You like that, Psychic on the Rocks? Might be a new thing. They were calling for civil war if Kamala was declared the winner on Tuesday night. They were ready, armed, and able, according to what I read that day, to start a bloodbath. Okay? We should create a drink, Psychic on the Rocks. I love it. They were ready to, I don't know how far along they were in their plans. But on election night, if they had called it for Kamala Harris, because they're just rife with disinformation and conspiracy and help by Putin and all his allies. That's what they were going to do on election night if Kamala won. Now that we're in this in-between time, now that that's where we are, in this in-between time, guess what's starting to happen? I talked about this yesterday. Rose is like, this is better for your head than vodka on the rocks. It's getting a little bright and these glasses are kind of lousy. What's happening is what the Trumpsters and the MAGAs did not know was they didn't know the one tiny iota, one tiny anything about Project 2025. And speaking of the vote counts, that was way too soon. Little Flower, I am here to uplift you. Do not be upset. Be motivated. I understand the sadness, of course. I haven't shed one tear. I did talk in my Substack article today about how I've been feeling physically from the stress. The Trumpsters are finding out in real time, and it's going to happen very quickly, what they stand to lose. I mean, a lot, if you percentaged it out, I think a lot of the people who have supported Trump are low income and middle income, and I'm just describing something. I'm not judging. They don't strike me as the majority being wealthy. So when they get wind of that they won't get their holiday bonuses if they work for a manufacturer because the manufacturer is going to have to deal with the Trump tariffs. So I'm backing up just because it's windy. So when they get wind of that they won't have Social Security, when they get wind of that they won't have Medicare or Medicaid, when they get wind of everything's going to be way more expensive, all that talk about, oh, well, Trump was better on the economy. Can you say gaslit? All that conversation. Yeah. All that conversation about this, oh, well, you know, and Trump never laid out anything that was going to help them. It was all rhetoric, all repetition, all rhetoric. No more public assistance. No more trusting that your water that you drink and the food that you eat is safe. No FDA. People would be, and I'm not saying will, I'm only saying would, because that's not our reality right now. People would be getting sick from their food without the federal, the FDA, Federal Department of Agriculture. People would be getting sick and sicker from the air that we breathe. Let me know if the wind is too much. Trump's cronies have just recently had their billions expanded just because they believe that he's won. I didn't even want to look at the amounts. I like it, Claudia. Can't cry, too pissed off. Poor working conditions. No right to form unions. No right to have, like, no overtime. No vacation time. Oh, and Yogi Bear is saying, I voted and it says your vote didn't count. We need to get on it. No more women's rights. As I sit here on the lawn of Judith Sargent Murray, who fought for women's rights. during the Revolutionary War times, right? So the MAGAs are getting wind of this. No Department of Education. No departments of anything. Do you think the Trumpsters were thinking about this? Do you think they were like, oh, but Trump, he wouldn't be good? Because none of them researched it. They went to the rallies because they needed to feel like they belonged to a community, right? They got used to it. It's kind of like a Dead show gone bad. A Grateful Dead show gone askew. Everybody check their votes. Make sure your vote was counted. Mine was counted on the spot. They told me. I put it in. They was like, yeah, it got counted. All right. Right now, today, I'm asking for a couple of promises today. Right now, today. I already got you to promise to not listen to any conversation about what happens when he's inaugurated, okay? I want everybody to not watch or read anything that has anything to do with when he's inaugurated. We're going to stop it from happening. We have a United States Constitution that is being ignored. Amendment 14, Section C says, anyone who's given aid and been complicit in an insurrection is not eligible to run for president of the United States. There is nothing legitimate about what happened on Tuesday night. Putin meddled. He did it before. This time he had the help of Elon Musk, who's going to be arrested for international crimes. Our allies are on it. They are not going to let Putin take Ukraine. Joe Biden just is making sure he's sending as much money as possible to Ukraine to help them to fight back. And we have NATO, and we are not going to be taken out of NATO. Does anyone remember the Girl Scout oath? I do not. You can put it up there. Okay? That's where we are. Yeah. And just so you know, we're all going to fight this. Jamie Raskin, we're all going to get on board. So the second promise that I want you to make, and it's going to make me feel really good, is that you'll call your state representatives today. Yeah, stop watching the media. They're complicit. They're a huge component of why this happened. Huge. They would not tell us what was really happening with Trump. Yeah, you can put up your Boy Scout oath, your Girl Scout oath. I don't remember it. Our American democracy is government by the people and for the people. And I really find it just incredible that so many Americans forgot. So many Americans forgot that it's up to us. But you know who didn't forget? Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, for the people. And when I saw her the other night, I didn't watch the concession speech. I did catch a little bit of a clip, maybe 1 minute. And let me tell you what I picked up from Kamala Harris. She knows something huge about what happened. And another thing I want to talk about Kamala Harris is this. She is the most compassionate candidate person that I've ever borne witness to. And she cannot, I know she would not be able to bear the thought of what Trump is planning to do to the American people and to immigrants. So you wrote to Elizabeth Warren. Good. Karen's in Massachusetts. All right. So we're going to do a little prayer. I think my friend might have left, but if he comes back, I'll ask him about origami today. And I'm going to start a support group here at the local library to help people here to feel supported. So before we do our little declaration and prayer, I want you to agree to not forget the amount of energy that we saw at the Kamala Harris and the Tim Walz rallies. I want you to not forget that. They want you to forget that. They want you to forget your power. Do not forget what you saw, what you bore witness to at those rallies, and do not forget what a shining star Kamala Harris is. Somebody just wrote, all the crooks are free. No, nothing discouraging, please. We're all tired. Of course she was tired. We're all tired. Nobody is sleeping. Nobody who's paying attention is having an easy time going to sleep. Believe me, you can tell it on me. I'm fine with that. It was magical what she created. And energy does not get destroyed. It just changes. It's still there. All right, so let's do this. Promise to hold the light. I'll be back tonight at 7, but let's do a little prayer time. All right? A little intending. So you can close your eyes if you want. We're going to just kind of tune into the energy of Judith Sargent Murray here. If you joined us late, I did show a little tablet that tells about the history of this house, which is a stone's throw from where I live. And what's the 4-day candle called again? I don't know. When we fight, we win, and we are not going back as prophetic. I totally agree. Let's not ignore, because we've been reading and watching the wrong things, let's not ignore the fact that the ball is in our court right now. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. All right, so let's get quiet, close your eyes, take a deep breath. We call upon our ancestors and those who have gone before us, the energies and the spirits of our founding fathers and the revolutionary soldiers and their wives and families, to be with America during this very historic time where we are being called upon to fight for our independence and to fight for our freedom and our democracy, to get stronger and not to be abolished by a foreign enemy. And we visualize moving forward. We visualize an America that has had a reboot. We visualize an America where there's no more divisiveness based in horrible disinformation, that we come back to love and cooperation, and that all Americans are waking up to the truth, and we are saving our democracy right now. We do not resign. We do not cave in. They are weak, and we are strong. And we've won this. Okay. Keep the faith. I'll be back at 7 Eastern Time for our regularly scheduled Psychic News Network. But before I shut off the camera, I'll walk down the stairs here. I was saying earlier that these are the stairs that I go up and down every single day because I have to park my car on a different street, and this is kind of a shortcut through way. And I'll show you my friend's art too, who does origami, and then we'll call it a morning, and catch up with you later. Once again, please subscribe, please book a reading so I don't go broke, and I'm serious when I say that. And to help you, psychic.AnnetteDion.com. I'm offering a shorter reading for new clients, and I'm also offering a half an hour session that's for $50 to help you to learn techniques to calm down. You really need to have techniques to calm down. I have them, and I'll teach them to you. So that's a half an hour session, and it's $50, and that's up on my website now, psychic.AnnetteDion.com. You can get an appointment as early as tomorrow. What else did I have to tell you? Go to my Substack. Right now it's under Annette Dion. And Grassroots of Democracy is coming back, and I'll give you the details as soon as I work them out. Thank you for being with me this morning. I'm sorry my friend left, but he seemed like that kind of like, I think he might be a Pisces. He's very floaty guy. But I'll show you his origami. and then we'll catch you later on. This is my neighborhood. I love the old buildings there. You can see they're in the style of Old England. That's why we're called New England. So here we have, I don't think he put a, like what it is. It's like an origami flower. A couple of origami flowers. I'm trying to see what you're seeing. See? And and then there's this, which I put on the cover page about butterflies, but forgive me, I really can't see what you're seeing. The sun is too bright. But it is on my thumbnail that I started with. See the origami butterflies? So peaceful! And origami, isn't that pretty? So pretty. And I'm just noticing, I'll come back later. He'll probably be here later. I just live right around the corner. Free blossom or butterfly? What should I take? I think today I'll take the butterfly for transformation. I have a butterfly tattoo on my arm. All right, so we'll do that. We'll take the free butterfly. This butterflies. Oh, I like this one. So let's end with this. Please hit the thumbs up and please subscribe. And I'll see you tonight. All right, bye, Judith Murray. Sergeant Murray. Bye.